guys, it's me. Today we're going to show you something new. This is our new Dell Powervault 122 vs80 model tape drive. This weighs 27 pounds. Let's see, it's about maybe about 13 kilograms. It's pretty heavy. So let's just try to get this thing open. Now this is a refurb. This is not new, so but it is refurbished. So get this thing out of the box here. Oh God. Okay. And they did not use a box in a box, which kind of simplifies my life. Like Russian nesting dolls, which some people do. Okay, now let me describe this machine to you. This is the way it came out of the box. Okay? Okay, that's the way it came. Okay, now, I'm sure there's no additional packing materials in here. Sometimes, it didn't say it came with anything, but it doesn't hurt to double check. Okay. Nope. By the way, this is not styrofoam. This is actually a puffed plastic foam. And this has the rack mounting ears on the side here. If you want to put this on a rack, you can see this is very big, okay? And this is the unit itself. It doesn't come with any cables, so it isn't supposed to come with any. Now this one has the barcode reader on it, and that's this thingy right here. It's the barcode reader for reading the barcodes on the tape. Sometimes you'll find these things on demo on eBay or whatever, and they don't have the barcode reader. This one is one of them that does. So basically, this is the beast, okay? And you can see, you can take the rack mount ears off, which I certainly will be a little later on. Right now I just wanted to show it to you. I didn't have much time to set this up. So what I'm going to do next is, our tapes did not come in yet, so we can't test this thing, but I do have a cleaning cartridge that I could put in it and hook it up to the eMac or up to the PowerMac G5 and try that. Now, related to this, let me put these on the foam pieces, the foamies, so I can show you another thing that came in today as well. This is a VHD high density, very high density connection interface SCSI connector. It is 68 pins, and you can see it's really small, okay? And this is the standard HP68 right next to that connector here. The cable is about 3 meters long, maybe 4 meters long. It's pretty friggin' big. It goes from one end of my room to the other, and I did test it with some LVD SCSI stuff, and it does work, but I really don't know what the hell I'm going to do with a cable this long. This is just insane. I really have to figure out a use for this. I will figure it out eventually. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take this hardware and I'm going to connect everything up into my PowerMac G5, and we'll see if everything works fine, both under Power Mac G5 and under OS 10 and under the PowerPC Debian Linux. This is me. I have some good news, but first of all, I'm going to wash my hair first. The package is on its way. It's supposed to be here today. And of course, like I said, I'm going to test it before we do a video. I got the drive working and it works fine right out of the box. So let me just show you, or at least let you see how it works on the commands. And I'll tell you, this lamp here. Just like regular studio, we're going to use as much light as we can. And so we can see it, because right now I am facing the back towards the window and I don't want to take all day long. So we're going to start by explaining the normal startup sequence. I'm going to show you the screen on the phone. I'm going to show you how it imports, exports, loads cartridges, and then after that we're going to connect it to our Mac and show you how to use it under MTX and under the MT and the tar command under Linux, as well as ES backup. So let's get started with the most obvious thing, turning it on. I'm going to be putting the camera towards the display so you can see it as I turn it on. Okay, first of all, let me introduce you to the hardware. This is the power switch. These are your controls. That's your display. I'm going to turn it on now, okay? So you can see how it works, okay? Now, when you first start it up, it does a post, or power on self-test. When you first start it up, it sometimes takes a while to get started. You're going to hear a buzzing sensation. That's the drive's leader tongue, apparently rubbing against the side as it goes through test diagnostics. Right now, it's also now going through and is checking, initializing the system to determine what is and is not in the system. I'm trying to see if I can try to get a better light here. Okay. Okay, so here's initializing. Now, since it's past that part, it's gone through, still going through post. It's doing an inventory of cartridges. So there is no cartridges in there right now. However, I do have one we can put in for testing purposes. Then it checks again to see if... Now, maybe you want to know what I mean by scanning cartridges. Well, this one has a barcode reader on it, which is on this model, and also on the LTO Powervault 122. It's the same thing. You have back here, this is the barcode reader assembly unit, okay? And it is mounted in the rear of this. It's not a handle. Please don't grab it as a handle because you'll damage it. You got your two SCSI cable ports here and here. And obviously it has a fan to cool it. And of course here's the means lead, comes into the wall here. So now let's get some work done, shall we? I'm going to put this cartridge down. I don't have a stand I can use on my phone. So I'm going to put the phone down for a second. Oh, by the way, it came with the rack mounted ears. I don't need those because right now it's not being used in the rack. So I had to take those off. It uses a T10 Torx bit to remove those screws. So let's go to loading a cartridge. So I go to commands, I press enter key, I press import. I'm going to import into slot 1. I press enter. The cartridge slot opens. You put your cartridge in. You want the barcode or your label on the left side and your right enable and disable switch on the right side. Okay? So now I place said cartridge into the drive. I push it gently in, all the way in. It closes the door. Oh, please never force that door. You can damage it, okay? So now it's going through again. It's asking if I want to import more tapes. Obviously I don't, so I press cancel. Okay. I hit cancel again. And then it goes through the barcode reader, reads the barcodes. You will notice the barcodes if you actually are sticking with the drive. So, okay. Okay. So now we have, you see, we have cartridge in 1. Okay. So now let's check out the other commands real quick here. We also got, I'm going to hit enter. We got import, which is dead. Export. Load cartridge into the tape drive. Unload cartridge. Clean drive. We don't need to do that. Re-inventory. Why not? I'll show you how to do that. And what it does is it's going to go through. It's going to read all the barcodes. Normally wouldn't have to do that, but just for heck of it, for this demonstration, if you actually took the cover off at this point, you would see the carousel is rotating around, and it's actually loading, reading the barcodes on the rear. Okay, so right now we know that when it says drive empty, you're talking about the tape drive. So let's load it. So I go to, let's go to information first. So let's see if we can find something. Cycle count, view event log, firmware, cycle count. This one I want to see. Configuration, diagnostics. So let's go to configuration because maybe you might need to change something for some reason. So possible changes includes reset, no. Change SCSI ID is set to default to 6. So let's go back here and check out what other options we have. Code update, we're not going to need to miss that. Circular mode off. Auto load mode off. Okay, so if you wonder what circular mode and auto load is, it's great for if you have a tape drive that doesn't, system that doesn't do things the way it should. Okay, so now let's load that tape from that cartridge in here, since obviously I got it, right? So I'm going to go to load cartridge. I hit enter. I hit slot 1 because it's only cartridge. Its carousel is turning around, pre-positioning. It only goes counterclockwise because if it went clockwise, it would dislodge all the carriers and then you would have an A0 error. Now, unlike LTOs or SLR cartridges, it takes it well for the drive to load the cartridge. Okay. Now it's calibrating the drive and it is determining the type of media it is. And as you can hear, it makes some kind of funny noises. That's okay. It's the kind of noises it's supposed to make. Alright? When you actually plug in the vs80 single loader drive, you'll see it makes the same sound at this point. But what it's doing is it's reading the tape. The head is pitching back and forth to determine what it is. Remember, this thing can only read, and I mean read, it cannot write to it. It can read DLT 4000 cartridges with no compression or some types of compression. It cannot read DLT 7000s, and it cannot read or write DLT 8000s. In fact, you cannot even use pre-recorded tapes on any of those 3 drives in here. It will reject them every time, except mark them as read, and sometimes you'll see the clean error come on, which means incompatible format. In this case, it is proper. So let us eject this cartridge now. So I go to, okay, I'm going to export, I'm going to unload it, I'm going to hit select, and so now it's going to unload it back to slot 1. Now I could change, it says, well, now it's flashing, it's let me know it's going to put it in slot 1. Okay, so now it's unmounting the cartridge. Now remember, we haven't recorded anything yet, so now these are brand new virgin tapes. Okay. What I need it pulling is it's rotating through the carrier. Okay, then it locks the carrier into a particular position. Now, if you want to export the cartridge, you go back to the commands again. You hit enter. You go to export. There's only one cartridge, so I hit enter on it. Okay, it moves the carrier to that position over there. You're going to see that door open up. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it on the door so you can see the effect. Okay, just like a videotape. Now, gently slide it out. And that's how it works. So how does it do all that? How does it pull tape in when there's only one spool on these? Well, I'm going to show you. The magic is that. That is the tongue. That the internal leader on the drive grabs that tongue and it pulls that cartridge into the machine. Okay, now this is a new cartridge, and all cartridges should look like this. Okay, now if you have an SDLT drive set up instead, it's going to be very similar, but it's going to have a slightly different tongue on it, but it works identically. Okay, now let me show you the tape guts. Here is your read write protect switch. Here's where you put your labels. Yes, the drive goes ahead and it just checks everything to make sure everything's okay. Okay, so here's your barcode. If I was to scan it into the computer right now, you would see the thing will read that barcode without a fuss. Coming up next, I was going to do this using the big camera, but it's going to get kind of complicated because it's just a real pain in the ass to try to set up the big camera for this. But before I forget, when you don't have these cartridges in the carrier, place them back into that. And just like VHS videotapes, you want to store them on a shelf like that, not flat. Because if you store them flat, the weight of the tape will cause the cartridge to sag and you'll have all kinds of problems. So, anyway, so that's how that works. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the fun stuff. I'm going to plug this into my computer and I'm going to test it under Linux and under ES Backup, and then I can explain how it all works from the ES Backup and the using it with Linux with tar. That way we can understand the whole ins and out of this machine, and we're not going to have to worry about anything else. I'm really happy to have this now because now I can load 7 cartridges plus the cleaning cartridge into the machine, and even though it's a little slow, it's going to allow me to automate backing up our computer network, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And so now we can start beginning of making sure that nothing else gets disappeared. And by the way, one last thing. When you're done to turn it off, when you see this state here, the drive empty and there's not busy lights, nothing's on, you can just, the switch is right here, it's turn it off like that. And that's all you have to do. Today we're going to show you how you actually use the autoloader on the computer to back up things. Unfortunately, we can't really do the OSX demonstration because ES Backup expired and it will not work. So we're going to just show you the Linux side under Debian, and I have a couple of tapes in my machine that I recorded. I'm going to show you how to load a tape and record one yourself. I'm going to show you how you use the MTX commands to check your tape drive and all that. So, because I'm doing it on my iPhone, it's going to get a little bit choppy. However, I tried to make things a little bit better by making the screen physically larger so you can see it better. And I will try to pace it slow enough that you can see the screen as I type and stuff like that. I will have to type, put the phone down and stuff like that, so it may not be really convenient. I might have to edit it out. So, with no further ado, let's get started. Now, I made the screen big so we can see it without too much of a fuss. It's still a little bit too small. I'm sorry about that. So, let me make the screen a lot bigger because I want to show you how this works. Okay? Okay, now you can see it. Now, first of all, if you have your user in your sudo file, you don't have to be in the root to do this. I happen to be a sudo into bash shell, so I could just show it to you. I have my Debian system set up very much like OS X. So let me get started here and telling you first of all how do you check your status of your drive. Okay, it's better. Now, unfortunately, it's a little smaller now, so I'm gonna see if I can bring the phone closer here so you can see it. This is the response. Now, right now, I don't have a tape in the drive. That's why it's saying transfer element is empty. But we're going to put something in. We're going to load tape 4. That's the number that says IB60E1. That means incremental backup for June 2014, Unit 1. I'm going to use that one because the other ones are already being used. The 1 to 3 are already being recorded on, and that contain the real backups. So let's just go do that for you. Okay, that's the command. It says mtxf/ev/sg4 load 4. We're going to load tape 4 into the bay. There's only one drive in the system. So right now it's doing what it's going to do. It's going to load it into the machine. Okay, now it's in the machine. The tape drive is going to start spinning up. So now if I pull status up now, you'll see that that message is telling me right here that this tape is empty, but it's still marked as a volume in there. That's because that volume is now into this bay. Volume tag, okay, see that's the volume tag right there I told you about, right? So now we have our tape loaded, and now we need to actually back up something for testing. So let's keep it something simple here because I don't want to make it a big long backup. So let's back up the etc directory because it's small, and I'm going to show you a mite with tar that you're going to need to use. Some people like to use CPIO, some people like to use dump. I use tar. So allow me to demonstrate to you how you would back up, in this case, the etc directory onto the tape that's in the machine. Here we have the tar cbs/ev/st0. Blocks you're going to add is 2512K blocks, or 512 byte blocks. That's just to make it a little faster. If you didn't have that, it would go even slower, and the drive would be going back and forth constantly trying to read bytes, and obviously the directories, etc. Now I tried giving this thing one time 32, and it crashed tar because tar couldn't handle it. Said something about memory error or something. I think there's a glitch in tar for anything bigger than 20, but that's pretty much the same. I use in all my machines the same, so it doesn't matter. So now I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and right now it says removing the leading slash from member names, and the drive is initializing, and it's getting ready to read. I don't have compression on because I should explain this. Some people, when they use data compression on tape cartridges, especially if there's a lot of binary files, it doesn't really work too well because for text files and some random graphics that are not compressed, that works pretty good. That may just seem fast to you, but I can assure you it's not that fast. It just happens to be a short little file. Okay, so now it's done. It's backed it up. I mean, it's only maybe about a gigabyte. So let me now show you how to read that back and you want to actually read it back. I'm going to show you how to verify what's on the tape and make sure there's no any read-write errors. I did not use verify upon writes. It's already enabled on the drive, but I'm talking about you can add verify upon writes to other things. So let me show you how to review the table of contents of this tape. There we go. That's the review command. Okay. tar tvf. That means verbose, which means it gives you more detail than just a standard without the V. Okay, F means file. This is the file device. Okay, on the tape drive. Now, let me explain one thing to you before we go any further. Is explain that we're using the automatic rewinding tape device, which is ST0. If you want the non-rewinding, you'd use NST0, which means non-rewinding SCSI tape 0. And if you have more than one tape drive, as our other machine will have, we would have ST0 and ST1, because we're also going to have to keep the other drive around too. So now we have our command ready. Let's see what the contents looks like. Like Chico the Man would say, looking good. No errors. Excellent. Now, that shows you the contents. All right, great. Now, okay, now I got a tape in the drive. I want to get rid of it. I want to take it out of the drive and put it away. So, I'll show you how to do that. Because our system only has one actual tape unit inside the case, there's no reason to say unload 0, unload 1, because there's only one drive. So, once you do this, it goes ahead, it takes the cartridge out of the drive and puts it back into its storage locker, and that's all you need to do. That's pretty simple. And so the point is, with tape you can do all kinds of neat things, and certainly makes it possible to keep your computers backed up. Like last night, for example, I backed up a good portion of the Macintosh users files and home directories to make sure all my files are nice and safe and snug as a bug in a rug. But you know, you can do more than that easily, and but this is just kind of just a simple demo to wrap up that video segment that I had promised you I was going to work on. There's a lot of footage, and now we're going to take all that footage and we're going to put it into a complete video. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Guess what? After I backed up all my stuff on the Macintosh partition, the hard drive quit. Fortunately, I got the tapes. I got the backups now, so I'm not totally dataless. It's Western Digital 250 gigabyte hard drive. It will not turn over. I've heard about the problem before, so it's not really new. I've seen it more often than Western Digital's that I do on Seagate's. So obviously, since I did not copy every single thing on that 250 gigabyte hard drive, because the operating system itself is no problem. That can easily be restored from the original factory DVD, as I'm doing now. I copied my home directories and my documents, so I have those on tape. So what I'm going to do, because the hard drive I installed is only a 40 gigabyte, is I'm going to have to spread the data among several drives to make sure it all fits. There's just too much data to fit into too small of a space, and so that's what I'm going to do. So, wish me luck, guys.